Okay, so a reminder of how to use Pythagoras' theorem to find unknown sides on right-angled triangles. So to begin with the theorem itself, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. C is always the longest side, the hypotenuse, and A and B are the two shorter sides of the right-angled triangle. The triangle that we have over here is an equilateral, so those lines indicate that all three sides are 2 centimetres. We want to find the height of this triangle. To do that, we can actually use that height as one side of a right-angled triangle, as you can see here. So this hypotenuse will be 2 centimetres. The height, or this shorter side of the right-angled triangle, will be our unknown, and along the bottom here will be another short side, we'll call it A. It will only be 1 centimetre because it's half of the base of that triangle. So to solve, all we do is input what we know and then solve for what we don't. So the hypotenuse is 2 squared, A is 1 squared, and b squared is our unknown. So 2 squared is 4, 1 squared is 1. Okay, so now we can solve for the unknown. So we're just going to subtract 1 from both sides. And that leaves us with b squared equaling 3. And then to find what b equals, we just need to find the square root. So the inverse of squaring is the square root of both sides. So b will equal the square root of 3, which is 1.73205, and it keeps going. So we will be able to just round that. And there should actually be little approximate equals, 1.73. And we'll just indicate that we've rounded that to 2 decimal places. So that is an example of a CAP question, just a knowledge. You just need to write a formula, follow the procedure. It's a simple routine question, really a D level at this stage. Okay, now I'd like to show you a map example using Pythagoras. We have a question: John leaves school to go home. He walks 6 blocks north and then 8 blocks west. How far is John from school? So we can model this situation using a right-angled triangle. So if we just do a little, this way is north, just to remind everyone. So we have home over here, and he has gone school over here. So he has gone 6 blocks north, and then he has gone 8 blocks west. Now, because we know that we have north, south, east, west, our quadrants, we know that this is actually going to be a right angle. And so what we're trying to find is the distance from home to school, which is that line there. So you can see that we have a triangle. So the best thing with a word question like that is to always draw a picture. So distance from home to school is the length of the hypotenuse. Now that is actually M1. And even over here is M1, showing that we're working on that problem. So then if we say, let's see, the distance from home to school equals the 6 blocks, and B equal the 8 blocks. So now all we need to do is use that to work it out. So if we just move that up, use that information. So start by writing Pythagoras' theorem, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C squared is what we're actually trying to find. So that will stay C. A is 6, B is 8. So 6 squared is 36, oops, and 8 squared is 64. If we add those together, we get 100. Let me just move this up a little. And then to find C, we're just going to take the square root on both sides. So square root of 100 will be 10. Therefore, it's important to write this concluding sentence. Let's just move that up a little more. Running out of room. Home to school is 10 blocks. So you have to make sure that that question, because this is your M3 criteria, you have to make sure that it actually relates back to the question, the original question. So the original question was, John leaves school to go home. He walks 6 blocks north and then 8 blocks west. How far is John from the school? So we need to say that the distance from home to school is 10 blocks, or John is 10 blocks away from school. When we look at all of our working over here, we have to remember that this first one here, so in our map questions, there's always caps as well. So this is our K1. This up here is still M1, but this that was all our working above. This is our K2 line where we're doing all our working. This one's also K2. This bit here is C1, showing our communication there. And then this one is also K2. Don't forget that if you round, that's also a communication. It's hitting C1 and M3. So you can see there's a lot of criteria hit with these. Okay, so you should now go and complete the cap and map questions that are provided for you for Pythagoras' theorem.